I'm coming from the adoption angle. Ask my guests, okay? It's all great and shiny and inspiring, okay? But if you ever tried, let me put it this way, sell a new solution, to large hospital organization, to large insurance company, explaining, bringing technology in and how painful this process is. Nicholas, can you give us some tips? Because professional listening to us, both business and technology, what will make those solutions be a little bit more relevant? Because again, people sometimes inventing them in the lab, unfortunately, and it just does not get the traction.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question.
I know, that's what
I see it everywhere, not only in healthcare. It's what we call digital transformation projects, which actually is a mindset change management. It's we're on the road to technology. We can't go back, right? This road to technology started many years ago, and I'm talking about 100 years ago when electricity started, and electricity came from steam and all this, and so today you can't say suddenly, okay, well, I'm done. I don't want to use my smartphone anymore. I don't want to use my computer. I don't want to use AI. This is not possible. So gradually, and it's also a generational question, to be honest with you, because you see young doctors like my son, for example. Again, I'm sorry, I'm definitely proud of my son, but
you should be. You have all the rights here, Nicholas.
But he's 27, so he can give me his views on things. And he said very regularly, he's in critical care ward, and he said very regularly, in terms of imagery, the older radiologists don't want to use AI. And then I've been doing this for 35 years, 40 years. I know my stuff. But it's not knowing their stuff. It's basically what you know is like less than 2.5 millimeter growth, tumor less than 2.5 millimeter. Your eye cannot see it, whereas AI can see it, because AI has been trained from millions and billions of data and pictures of seeing something that can be like really even less than a millimeter, like a micron in terms of size. So it's again, and these people in 2, 3, 5 years, they'll be retired. And I think the newer generation will make these changes. I agree with you. I've sold also software to hospitals, and it's really hard, even in Europe, when they have their own budget and everything, because healthcare is always an area where governments don't want to spend too much money on. Luckily, in Europe, we don't have to deal too much with insurance companies. At least they don't have their say in terms of what hospitals can buy or can't buy. But I know in the US, it's a big deal. So this is really hard, but you need to approach it not as a digital or AI revolution. You just need to approach it as a mindset management project. And if you take that angle, I see it, I'm not being naive. I know it's hard, but I'm just trying to find solutions here on how you do it. And so again, if you approach it and you say, this will save you X amount of money, and we can do tests so you can see it. I did that with diabetes management system, a company that I founded, and Irene, I think on SaugaTalks, we talked about that. I founded a company back in 2017. I left the company and I left it to my associate. But we realized that it was more the approach to the hospitals and even the insurance company, because it was FDA approved, that made the difference, rather than approaching it saying, it's going to change your life and being, not concrete. You really need to explain, and it takes a long time, but I see it happening. Things are changing. That's my positive angle on it.
Yeah, and what's your take? I'm sure you've seen examples. You've been on the other side, on the clinical side, when excited, inspiring individuals bringing the new solution or promising the world. Okay, what's the take out there? How can we help those solutions to be, the right ones, right? Of course, to be adapted and to be tried at least.
It's a great question, and I would echo what Nicholas said, and I'd refer back to Irene, what you said at the top of our podcast today, and that is that the U.S. healthcare system generally is fairly conservative and large, if you will. And I see AI as a solution, as well as other solutions being implemented in an iterative fashion. It's not going to be a light switch where one day you don't use it and the next day you use it. It will be phased in, if you will. And not only will that ensure that healthcare systems and hospitals have successful adoption, but also allow us to learn from that iterative approach to figure out where we need to go next. How do we make adjustments before it gets spread too far out? I do subscribe to what Nicholas said, which is it's partially generational. I agree. And it makes me think of the EMR, EHR implementation in the United States a long time ago. I even think of my father, who was a successful physician in the 70s and 80s. And I know that caused him some consternation and heartburn. And with time, that technology, however, got adopted because people that were being trained and early in their practice began to figure out how to use it and how to implement it in their practice. And so, like Nicholas said, it's not that you can set it aside. I think it's going to be incumbent upon organizations and individuals to adopt and use it. But again, I think approaching it in an iterative fashion instead of one big gulp, if you will be the key to success.